on the sidelines, and a game which should tell us a lot about two of the Big Ten's most exciting soccer programs. Northwestern going to bring out a good lineup of their own. For the Wildcats, it'll be Johnson, Prince, Bomar, and Meyer on the back line. And then in midfield, Tarleton, Hayner, Gajadhar, Hetsky, with up top, Martin and O'Reilly. Seconds away now from kickoff. As we await the referee's signal, and it'll be the Wildcats who get us underway. Going long almost immediately. Worth noting for Northwestern that they will be starting with their second choice goalkeeper, Josue Hangi. Suffered a red card to their starter, Ponce de Leon, last time out against Rutgers in that 2-1 win. But Hangi, very experienced in the Wildcats on the attack early. A good ball to the end line, the cutback cross, and it's an acrobatic attempt at a finish. We'll see who the last touches off of there. It's going to be a corner. Nearly a spectacular goal to open this one up for the Wildcats.
We came into this game knowing that Northwestern need to maximize their offensive possessions, considering they're playing with, a few men short. And right there, Dash, we see that they're trying to get this game started off right.
Yeah, they absolutely are. And that was nearly a superb finish. Of course, the Wildcats now at the corner and chance to really not just send a shot across Maryland's bows, but to give them a rude awakening in this game. That's delivered in well to the near post. The header wide, sent back into the mixer. That'll be one, but only so far as Northwestern able to keep this. And now Picato's on the ball, and Maryland might be able to break. It's a good pass out wide, and here's Rita driving forward. He has an option in the box and says he's going to keep it himself. The shot a bit scuffed, and Hangi caught into action, makes the stop. So, early end-to-end action, and we did tell you this would be an enthralling one. Well, so far, it's already got the pulses racing a bit here, Adam.
And that was Hangi's first career save for Northwestern.
And for a second there, the Cats have found a good spot between the lines. This is a good ball out wide now. Nicely picked out and a one-on-one chance here. And a really good work to get back to the end line again. The cut back, that'll be dealt with. But that was really nice work there by Martinez Santamaria. So dangerous, one of the nation's leaders in assists. And in a one-on-one duel, he first wins it and then squares a dangerous ball. And Maryland having to live on their toes at the back right now. It was Suhetsky's ball that set that up as well. And now Northwestern will go for the long throw. Johnson into the box. Header won by Maryland. Hooked back in by the Wildcats. This is still in there, and we'll see if they can deal with it, can the Terps. And eventually, Kelp just gets that away. But Northwestern will keep it in, and he'll try to go again. Maryland trying to press a little bit to win the ball back there, but this game seems a bit frenetic. The Terps eventually do win it back, and now they can try to calm it down. And Adam, we've barely had time to catch a breath in this one.
Northwestern has just tried to get this game started off with early momentum. They're not trying to let Maryland get settled in because they're playing a few men short. They want to try and have an offensive burst, take the pressure off themselves in the second half.
Absolutely. So Tristan Rose now on the ball. Jace Clark. Clever ball, and Masarika's made a good run. Masarika keeping that in nicely, but the flag goes up. He's offsides. And Masarika taking his time to give the ball back. A bit of a hand up from one of the Northwestern players. So, actually, going to go out of play. From up here, it looked like it stayed in play, but also an offsides would have looked harsh. So, that makes sense. Good call by the referee. And now a tangle in midfield. Wildcats win the ball back temporarily, and Johnson takes a bit of an arm in the back from Picato. Free kick for Northwestern. The sun has set here, although you can still see some of the sunlight on Jones Hill House behind the stadium. But at the moment, all eyes are on the field, where this one's already unfolding with a bit of drama and certainly quite a lot of excitement. Northwestern will just play it simply to start. Hangi spraying the ball wide. And now the Wildcats trying to operate down that left-hand side. It's a giveaway in a dangerous position. Rita's back heel, and the pass just a bit scuffed. They're on to recover through Clark. But the Terps certainly, for a second there, look like they might be in a dangerous position. And Adam, so far, what have you noticed from these two teams? This is a dangerous touch there for a second, and good work by Kelp to play out of trouble there.
I'm seeing Northwestern are forcing Maryland to ramp up early. We've seen that Maryland are a slower team in the first half as they try and get settled, figure out opposing teams' defense. But the pressure has been put on them because Northwestern are trying to pull off an upset here at Ludwig.
And this is a superb ball. Now Johnson going in, and Masarika got that. Referee says it was clean, and I think Masarika was lucky to get the ball there. Certainly caught the player, but getting the ball saves him from conceding a free kick, potentially a card. Rose's back pass, and Mock is on it now. So in the end, an effective tackle by Masarika there in a dangerous position. But we've seen a couple really good balls by Northwestern now out to the flank. You can tell they're going to try and trouble Maryland that way. Rose spreads it back to Mock. But now play Cope. Cope goes long, and Rita giving chase, but this looks like it'll be a bit overhit, and it'll just drift out of play.
So regarding Northwestern's urgency in this game, dating back to the start of last season, they're 11-0-1 when they score first, Dash.
Pretty impressive, and they'll know that if they can put their foot down, A, it might silence the crowd at Ludwig, and B, it might put Maryland under the cosh, but now Northwestern under the cosh with a bit of a sloppy back pass, eventually able to play out well there. Martinez Santa Maria, though, dispossessed by Clark, but that'll be recovered by the Wildcats as Gajadhar with the initial recovery. His pass a bit loose, though. Koto. And now nice feet in midfield. And Maryland just fizzled out for a second there, but you could see an early glimpse of the quality that Kul offers. He's kind of rescued that play for a second. Now the free kick for the Terps.
This is Maryland's best chance since Rita had a shot on goal earlier. He's starting in place of Njike, and this is someone that Maryland's looking to step up today as they wait for the red card to expire.
Yeah, and Rita has, of course, been outstanding for this Maryland team. Really talented young player. Offers a lot, and he'll take this set piece right here. So what can Rita conjure up? Good position. Some movement in the line, and the delivery is a good one, but Hongi gets a strong arm to it. And it'll be Northwestern who recovers. Long ball forward. The Terps should be able to deal with this. But it's hanging up a little bit awkwardly for Masarika, and now he's coming under pressure and eventually able to get out of it with a touch. Now he has some space to run at, too. So Saddam Masarika, another loose touch there, and had to hustle to save that. He did. Kelp. Now, Rose spreads it wide for Costabile. And this is a clever ball into the middle, but dealt with by Northwestern. Only goes as far as Kelp, though. Kelp. And Kul, dispossessed almost, but Kato hustled back before Northwestern wins the ball temporarily, and again, Maryland able to recover, that time through Rita. Costabile. Ball forward, the flick around the corner, and Rita's played a good one. Kul can have a go here. Kul moving into the box, trying to get an option, and eventually just a loose touch too many. Dispossessed in Northwestern. Able to get the ball a little bit out of danger before a barge in the back concedes a free kick, and Maryland can try to get men forward again. Certainly so far, this one's been a little bit helter-skelter. Maryland will play it relatively quickly there. Stabile. Steinleitner. And Tristan Rose will play Clark. Clark out wide for Masarika. Has Picato around the corner. Picato maybe drifted off sides there, but it looked tight. Masarika might have had a thought about that. Instead, he didn't. And Kelp playing Costabile. Actually, that'll be Kul, who's moved into Costabile's space. Costabile given some freedom to roam. Always a dangerous player. Clark. Picato. Picato's ball wide. Masarika. Another bit of a loose touch. It actually works out more as a pass for Picato. Unsure if that was intended or not. He'll lay that off. Steinleitner moves it across. Pass out wide. Costabile. Still Costabile. The cross comes in, and that looked like it was deflected. Behind and out of play, potentially, but nope. The referee says it's actually going to be a goal kick. And the referee was right on the spot, so did a good job there calling that one.
Hongi will inbound it, and we've seen that it's been 3-on-1 for Maryland. They've been, pushing into Northwestern territory. As we'll take another look at this cross that just sailed over the goal, a little too late on the kick there. And for Hongi, this must be an exciting moment. This is his season debut, first time he's played since Georgia State last year. Yeah,
certainly not gotten moments for Northwestern yet, but a very experienced campaigner. Played extensively for Georgia State over the last couple years. Before that, he was at Akron, and Akron's certainly a top-notch program as well. So an experienced campaigner in the game, making his Wildcat debut, and he'll be eager to impress for sure. Throw in. This will be laid off. Costabile. Kelp. Rose. Clark. Back to Mock, and one thing you have to give Maryland credit for is they've done a good job territorially so far, just penning Northwestern in, and now with the ball over the top from Mock, and eventually it didn't quite go where Masarika wanted it to. Northwestern able to deal with it temporarily, Steinleitner, and now here's Rita. Good recovery by Gajadhar there to get that back for the Wildcats, and now a little turn out of trouble. Gajadhar has gone down, and not a good save for Northwestern. Gajadhar has come back from an ACL tear this year. That looks a bit sore. Thankfully, appears not to be a leg injury. He was reaching for his face there. Ooh, ankle did get trod on, though.
Just got sandwiched between two Maryland players there. Gajadhar is a really important part of the Northwestern culture. Russell Payne said that he has the best work ethic on the team, which is really high praise.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big statement. Certainly a lot of quality players on this Northwestern squad. And when he got hurt early last year, it was a huge loss for this team. They're really glad to have him back. And at the peak of his abilities, is now Johnson has picked up a good position, and he'll play that forward. Martinez Santamaria finds Johnson again. Johnson turns back, looking for options. Talented freshman, well marked here, though. And Rose stays on him. Johnson will win the corner, though. Actually appears that it's gone out for a throw. For a second, looked like it had gone on the other side, but it's hard to tell with the sight line here. And Johnson will try to pump this into the box. Johnson, the throw-in's a good one. Dangerous. It'll sit up, and we'll see the shot attempt. Nearly a power driver, and it's off the post. My goodness me, nearly a superb strike from Mayer, the Maryland native, who hit that almost as perfectly as you can.
This is only his third start of the season, and he's having shots like that, Dash. As we can see, he just got enough range, didn't try to go center, looked to see if Mack would dive to his right. He dove properly.
A dangerous ball in there by which Maryland can clear, but oh my goodness, if Mayer had hit that, one of the goals of the season. The technique you have to be able to get that on target as a player, just so impressive. And that almost was in the back of the net, just inches away. So Mayer sends a serious warning to Maryland, and another long throw for the Wildcats on the far side. Terps will win the first header again. Second header won by the Wildcats. And eventually, Maryland will scramble this away, and now the foot race might be on here. Rita is in good position. He's taken that down nicely. His touch has set him up well. He's played Masarika. Masarika's shot nicely blocked right there, and that was critical. But now Clark steps up. Clark has Masarika again. Masarika passes this off. Steinleitner, under a bit of pressure, he'll turn and play back to Rose. The threat tends to just go back a little bit in those moments, but Maryland certainly will know that they can potentially try and launch it again, as for a second there, Masarika was in great position, and that block was a critical one. Now Northwestern with the turnover, and the Wildcats have an opportunity in transition. Striding forward, and a bit of a loose touch. But here we go again. Northwestern, the cross in, a little bit too close to Mock. It was a good idea there. Didn't quite work out the way the Wildcats wanted to, but some clever interplay. So Rose, back to Mock. Spreads that wide. And Maryland content to pass among the back line. And Adam, certainly this one's been full of action so far. If you're both coaches, how are you feeling at this stage of the game? Already almost 15 minutes in.
I think if you're Coach Sorowski, you have to be happy that Maryland are not selling out because Northwestern put early pressure on them. They're trying to play this game at their own pace, and we've seen they're creating good offensive opportunities. First with Rita, then with Masarika. That stop by Fritz Volmar, I think, is play of the game so far, Dash.
It might be. Volmar certainly had to get his timing perfect there, and if he hadn't, it would have been a dangerous situation for sure. Now a throw in for Northwestern, and they're going to try to get this forward. In towards Hainer. Good recovery there by Kelp. Back to Mock. Mock goes long. Initial header won by the Wildcats. Took a bit of an awkward bounce back off a teammate, and Northwestern can go the other way. This will drift out of play. Throw in Maryland. So chance for the game to take a breath. Certainly feels like it's been nonstop action. A lot of fun for the neutral. Throwing on the far side now for the Terps. Costabile. Looking back. And it'll go all the way back to Mock. Mock under a little bit of pressure goes long. The initial header won by the Wildcats again. They've won a lot of initial headers. But Again, just a bit of a loose touch, loose pass. Throw in for Maryland on the far side.
Wildcats are struggling early on in this game with maintaining possession in the midfield. A lot of turnovers, like you were saying, on headers, but they're just not putting together drives like they. If they're in Maryland's territory, we've seen them make progress, whether it's a throw-in or a kick, but they've just struggled to drive it themselves.
Yeah, it looked dangerous in possession, but just not quite able to string possessions together. When they get into transition, though, they do offer a threat, as that's going to be a clever ball played in towards Picato, but he couldn't quite get on the end of it. Honky claims. Interesting to note as well, Maryland playing fairly high up the pitch when they lose the ball with their forward line, but midfield dropping a little bit, so there's a pretty big gap between the defensive and midfield lines for Northwestern. Now, the Wildcats trying to build out of the back. And another wayward pass. Put an end to that possession as well. Thrown. It's be hit long, and Mayer is in good position there. Oh, and the foul was in the end against Hayner. He didn't like that. So Maryland wins a free kick. Kelp down. We hope he's okay. And it looks like we might get a stoppage here, actually. Indeed, the clock is stopped. So, for giving a talking to. And actually, it's going to be O'Reilly, not Hayner.
This is the theme of the season for Northwestern so far. Third most cards in the Big Ten. Discipline is something that they're looking to improve as they continue on in conference play.
Yeah, certainly something they're going to want to up their game on, and something I think Coach Payne and his squad will be aware needs to improve. No card issued there. Now Rose plays the ball back to Mock. Mock, Kelp, Costabile. His ball forward, and it's a clever one. Maryland looked slick there for a second, but just couldn't quite find the next pass in the sequence. And Honky plays Johnson. Johnson for options. Has Gajadhar showing, but he's well marked. And Johnson now in a bit of a pickle. Costa Rica will concede the throw, but good job by Maryland there when they went to man marking. Northwestern not really able to trouble them. And ball comes into Johnson. Coach Payne, we see issuing instructions from his sideline. I think so far he'll be fairly happy with this one. Johnson's throw going long again, and O'Reilly tried to make a turn, but had her won by Clark to the middle, and Steinleitner spreads it wide to Costabile. His ball, and here's where Rita can run again. Rita tries to take on his man, but in the end, Mayer stood his ground and throw in for the Terps. Mayer, and Maryland native, made it McDonough, the powerhouse in the Baltimore area. Terps now trying to launch further attack. Clark. Back to Rose. Kelp. The ball through and just couldn't quite link up with Rita there. So. Northwestern with the throw again. Attempt to hold up the ball by O'Reilly there. Couldn't quite work for him. The ball back. And Adams, the game's calmed down these last couple minutes. What do you think is going to be key for either one of these teams to really start to retake the initiative? Right now, it feels like it's more with Maryland. More possession, better territory. But at the moment, not quite threatening Northwestern.
I think Maryland are doing a very nice job setting up Rocket Rita as Honky smothers that one again. But they're setting up Rocket to go downfield, build up speed and momentum. If he is just on one or two defenders, he can eventually break through. So they just need to stick with their plan, trust that their process, which has gotten them to an undefeated record through 7 games, will come through again. Don't get stressed. There are 25 minutes remaining in this first half.
There sure are. So, see just how this plot continues to twist and turn. Free kick here for Northwestern. For a second there, Volmar deciding what to do. Now, referee having a word with him, presumably about time wasting. Volmar, a player formerly played at fullback, got moved into center back, and referee not the most pleased with him. As the same time, Beaumont will probably argue that they didn't really have many options.
And that's been a trend for Northwestern right now, is they're playing a few men down. They're playing people out of position, so their team, it's almost like it's a new team, Dash, even if it's the same players.
Yeah, they're lucky that Beaumont at least returning to a position he knows very well in center back and has adjusted nicely. Certainly has the capability to be one of the top center backs in the Big Ten. And the first header won by the Terps, second header. And now Kato, dispossessed. Martinez Santamaria and O'Reilly with a nice little turn. Suhetsky had a clever idea, but it didn't quite work, and O'Reilly's block will keep this in play. Martinez Santamaria sends it back. And Tarleton, but in the meantime, looks like we've had the flag go up for offsides. So, Terps able to clear their lines. It is worth noting that while Northwestern has had less of the possession and less of the territory, they have looked arguably the more dangerous of the two sides when they've gotten the ball in Maryland's final third.
Well, they're following their scouting report coming into today that it's all about maximizing the offensive possession because they're not going to have as much as Maryland, as we would have expected.
Yeah, certainly maximizing that time, but not quite able to get the open goal they want. Now the ball over the top. Masarika herring after this, and he might be inside here, doing really well to keep up with Volmar, and ultimately face of action for the center back. Volmar stuck with him well, but certainly not the easiest play.
So for the second time today, Volmar has been incredibly clutch, stopping Masarika, who has had very strong drives alongside Rita Rita. It's just Northwestern are well positioned to make sure that they have at least someone there.
Yeah, it is worth noting as well for Maryland, not really a true center forward in that forward line for the Terps. So really relying on the two wingers stretch the play. The corner coming in, low bouncing one, awkward to deal with. It's set up potentially nicely, and the shot bent but didn't drop. Andronika struck that well though. So Maryland threatening. That's more like it from the Terps.
We'll take another look at that corner, and that kick just a little bit high, but Maryland are applying more pressure. That kick was similar to the one we saw earlier, that just went off the post against Mock.
Yeah, definitely a tricky one, and now here come the Terps again. Gostabile striding forward with the ball, spreads it wide. Andronika, the cross, picked out, and Northwestern can try to come the other way. Tarleton passes it off. Mayer going long, has Suhetsky. Suhetsky's flick on, and Clark getting there first. Pick out Kuhl. Now, for a second, he was about to be dispossessed, but actually, Steinleitner there held on well. And on the far side, Kelp back to Mock, to Rose. Rose. Back to Mock. Pick out Kelp, and Maryland looking to go forward. Kelp's line-breaking pass. Now on the far side. Nice little idea to cut back inside, and Gostabile just being shown back towards his own back line, and now the giveaway. Northwestern might have an opportunity here if they can get numbers 4, but the Terps track back well. Steinleitner getting a touch in. Suhetsky holding him off. Suhetsky, the former Maryland man, found his teammate out wide, and an opportunity here for a bit of a run. Ultimately, ball will go out of play for a throw-in for Northwestern, but that's what they needed. So, throw in for the Wildcats. And about halfway through the first half now. It does feel the game has come down a little bit, but very much on a nice edge. Two quality teams going at it here at Ludwig Field. Suhetsky wins the first ball and lays it off nicely. Now, Northwestern on the far side. Mayer. Good pass. Martinez Santamaria spreads it wide again. Cross. It's a dangerous one, and that'll be dealt with. Out of play for a corner.
Nice poke block by Kelp right there, Dash.
Yeah, Kelp had to stretch to get on the end of that, and certainly a dangerous one. Let's see it again here. Ultimately, no one behind him, but he couldn't take the chance. So Northwestern's posed Maryland some problems off of set pieces. Both coaches told us that set pieces would be a key to the game. See what the Wildcats can do here. So a bit of a wild card in their arsenal. What can they do? Suhetsky to take. The delivery in. Mox punches a good one, but only so far out. And now, ball back in from distance. See how this sits up. First header for Maryland, and Mock can claim rather comfortably in the end. So, Costabile has a bit of room to run, but Suhetsky marking him well. Costabile turns away and wins the throw, and he'll take that quickly. So now foot race, Andrika giving pressure, and Vitorino will try to pressure Honky, but he's found Johnson. Johnson, well closed down by Picato, who concedes the throw, but Maryland will take that. Northwestern penned in their own half now, and see if they can build out this time. Johnson. First ball initially won by O'Reilly. Maryland able to send it forward, and good hold-up play by Andronika here now, but he's dispossessed. And the Wildcats see the throw. Clock to take. 20 minutes of change to go here in the first half. Mark sends it in towards Picato, whose initial control is a good one. Unfortunately, that'll be hooked away again, though, and now chance for Maryland to potentially make their first sub of the game. We'll see if it's on this stop or the next one. Clark gets set to take the throw. It looks like there's going to be 2 subs coming in. It looks like it will be now as Matias De Jesus and Luke Van Hoekelum enter the game. Nope, they're going to be waved off, actually, and throwing bent into Steinblatter. It looked like he was going to be one of the players coming off. Rose. Kelp. Spreads the ball wide to Costabile. Costabile. Has Kuhl. Now, Miller sees the pass back. Maryland is looking for openings, but Northwestern staying compact here, not giving them any. Rose back to his keeper. Knock to Kelly. Pass forward. That won't work out. Now Northwestern might have an opportunity here if they can get numbers forward. Suhetsky. Martinez Santa Maria. And here's where Gajadhar can have a little bit of a run. Gajadhar, it's a clever ball through towards Johnson, but Masarika's back there. Still under pressure, though, and gets the ball out, but only as far as Clark. Clark will still have to get it out of the corner. If he does with aplomb. First header won by Rita. And fortunately, that'll be nicely recovered by Northwestern. Good little play there by Prince. Now Northwestern can come back the other way. The Wildcats for options. Suhetsky spreads it wide. And unfortunately, going to win a throw. Now the subs come in. 2 subs for each side. So for Maryland will be Matias De Jesus and Luke Van Hoekelum. For Northwestern, it'll be Omar Jallo and Peter Reese. Reese provides Northwestern a bit of a different option. True number 9. No battle up top. Big physical guy. For Northwestern, the players making way will be O'Neal is the first one. We'll see who the second one is. Well, for Maryland, will be Picato and Steinleiter. The second one to make way for Northwestern will be Hayner. So the Wildcats deflected a bit heavily and not kept in play. Corner to Northwestern. And this is where Reese can really help out.
Well, Northwestern are well positioned here, and we've just been seeing that as both teams have been trying to drive it through, they're at great risk of getting an offsides call, and that's been stopping these drives because they're missing one pass in the sequence. You can get it set up on the corner. This is Northwestern's 3rd corner of the game. That first one was compelling. They had a shot on goal. Second one, not as close.
This one's potentially tricky. Headed away by Maryland initially, but still in the mixer. Still loose, and it's a crowd of legs. See what the signal is. It's corner again. So, bit of a scramble in the box. Of course, we talked about Reese entering the game. We were talking to Coach Payne. He told us that he's a target striker. He's missed some time through injury, but he's a true target man. He's a big-time threat in the box. That's what you need right now, a big-time threat in the box for Northwestern. So, see what he can make as an impact as a sub. And the referee having a word here now with both sides of players. And Prince conversing with him. Prince, of course, such a veteran player for Northwestern. Suhetsky, wearing the captain's armband, prepares to take. The former Turk. This is a good ball in. Mock gets a punch away. Gajadhar, the shot, flicked away, and for another corner. So Northwestern keeping the pressure up here. Maryland under the cosh at the moment.
When you get 3 straight corners, you can definitely sharpen your strategy. And we've seen that this mid-range pass is what Northwestern is ideally trying to do, is mock deflects it, and Gajadhar immediately tries to strike, hoping that Mac will be out of position.
Yeah, it was a good little flick there to just clear that away. So another corner, Svezky to take again. Delivery. Good one. Loose in front still and cleared away. So Northwestern putting Maryland under pressure, but the Terps dealing with it each time. This time it'll be just a throw. For the Wildcats, you can see they've got their plan. Really trying to make these set pieces count. And so far, certainly knocking on the door.
When you're struggling with turnovers in the middle of the field, you have to make the most of these set pieces. And they're creating opportunities, but you have to think that they just want to cash in one, try and take that to halftime.
Absolutely. Now a tie-up. Rita going at it with Prince, and Prince concedes the foul. Really good work. It actually was Van Hoekland. Other forward. Now here's Rita. Masarika taken down in the box, and it's a penalty. Moments after Northwestern's best spell of the game, Maryland goes the other way, and we've talked about discipline. That is going to be a penalty for sure, you would imagine. Prince gets his foot stuck in. Masarika goes over, and suddenly the game's biggest moment coming up here.
And that play really got the crew into this game, Dash, and I think their support could be critical here as Maryland trying to get their first lead of the day.
Yeah, absolutely could be critical. Of course, Maryland has a great penalty taker in Leon Kuh. He's already grabbed the ball and moving towards the spot. Let's see what the call is here. This referee, sounds like he might consider a view, but nope. Now just trying to get everyone to move back. For Honky as well. First appearance of the season, already has to face a penalty from one of the nation's best penalty takers.
Important to remember, Northwestern are 3-9-1 when they don't score first, dating back to the start of last season. This is a pivotal moment for them to try and get another big stop.
It sure is. So, the game which is turned on a dime. From under the cosh to in the driver's seat. Maryland now just looking to convert the penalty. Leon Kuh. Goes to take, and he slides it in past Honky. Maryland leads.
A thrilling moment for the Terps. Cool, doing exactly what you expect. He had an NCAA high in penalty kicks last season. Does it again right here for this Terp team.
Celebration, Ludwig. Fans getting loud, the music playing, and for Maryland, maybe a sigh of relief. Kuhl looks to the sky. He's put the Terps in front. See it right there. I mean, that's just about perfect placement. Honky had that covered. Kuhl just put it beyond his reach.
When you're so experienced in this situation, you don't feel like you just have to try and get it somewhere in the net. You know exactly where you can target.
Yeah. So, what a take by Kuhl, and just like that, Maryland up 1-0. We were talking about Northwestern trying to grab a goal in the first half, head to halftime. Well, right now, Maryland's got that goal, and what does that do to change the game?
I think it's just important. We haven't seen Maryland pressing at all, but it'll definitely put pressure on Northwestern, who, do not have as much depth on this roster as Maryland right now due to injuries and red cards. So you can't sell out early. You need to be, well-disciplined throughout the game. We'll have to see how do they choose to respond, because if Maryland, let's say, add on a second goal, that could start to feel like a big lead.
Yeah, really couldn't. Credit to the Terps. I mean, there's a lot of time in this game where they've been territorially dominant, but it has felt like Northwestern's been a little bit more dangerous in the final third. For Maryland, right there, taking that chance. Now they've built themselves a little bit of a cushion here. There's a long ball over the top, and here's Masarika, who drew the penalty. Really good defending by Volmar again. Gajadhar will help get that one away, and now Tarleton striding forward. Nearly dispossessed, but takes a kind bounce, and they'll try to play Martinez Santa Maria, but Jace Clark, good speed and covered that really nicely. Now Mock going long again. Van Hoeklem in the tie-up couldn't win the ball. Flick on. Rose. Kuhl. Kelp. Costabile. Costabile going long this time, and it's a clever ball which is written through nicely. And now this might be an opportunity here for Rita Rita. Striding in the shot, he's blazing it into the bottom corner. A rocket for Rita Rita. And actually it appears it's been Andronika instead. And Rita Rita's position, striding onto that so nicely, he just buries it.
We'll take another look at it. Andronika, his first goal this season, past a diving Hungy into the opposite side of the net. And Maryland have put big pressure on this goalie's debut, Dash, and they don't look like they're going to stop anytime soon.
That is superb right there by Albie Andronika. I mean, that finish, just perfect placement. To lace that bottom corner, getting forward into that wing roll. Naturally a midfielder, but that's the sort of run you need your players to be able to make. And now Maryland up 2-0. Adam, this changes everything.
Well, Dash, we're seeing the difference in what happens when you can drive the ball downfield and when you are struggling to and dealing with turnovers. Maryland have been setting up that play all game with Rita Rita primarily, and right there they're able to cash in. We said earlier, they just need to trust their process. It's gotten them undefeated record through 7. For Northwestern, if they're going to try and tie this game, they're going to need to stop the turnovers.
So a huge moment right there for sure. And Maryland now flying 2-0 up on a really dangerous Northwestern team. Had her flicked on. Andronika, I mean, what a finish. What a finish that was. Absolutely superb. Ball Costabile, also a very good one too. So, Johnson, Northwestern now looking for a response. Actually in a bit of a spot or bother here. This wasn't what they expected coming in. Adimandi, who's entered the game, now on that flank nearest to us. Johnson drew a free kick there. Gajadhar. Western just trying to get something going here. Van de Ventures played it back. Angi slipped while playing this forward, but flick on. This is awkward, and Clark has to be alert under pressure from Adimandi. The header back and Mock claims. So, Mock plays Rose. And Maryland now in the driver's seat. Do they just want to calm this one down and steer it towards halftime?
I think you want to, try and have as much momentum. If you've got things going, we've seen this game be deadlocked until just a few minutes ago with these 2 goals. So you don't want to trust, the second half to be as kind to you, especially when Northwestern are unlikely to go 0 for 5 on their next 5 penalty corners.
Yeah, certainly a dangerous situation here for Maryland, of course, as well. 2-0, the most dangerous lead in soccer is the truism. Nice little turn by Gajadhar there to get away. And now Gajadhar again doing some nice work. Maryland's brought in some more subs as well. Adimandi, very hard-working player, trying to work some space against Clark, but Clark has had some really nice work tonight on the back end. Holds him at bay. Van de Ventures cross. Dangerous one, but it just was a little bit too much on it. Out of play for a goal kick.
Mock will take it. He's had a strong night so far, Dash. Not, too many shots right on goal. There was that one off the post, but he's been well positioned, and we'll take another look at this kick. This is a further out kick. Northwestern just struggling to drive it into the box, so it looks like they're going to try and diversify their offensive shot opportunities here.
Yeah. Definitely have to do some more to get on the scoreboard here. They threatened early on and played a good game overall, but Maryland has taken advantage of 2 brilliant opportunities they've created. And now the Terps find themselves up by a couple of goals. Western will keep this one in. Tie up. Won initially by Reese, and Wildcats try to move forward. So, that's an opportunity for the long throw, but Mara opts to send it back instead. Delivery into the box. Hooked away. Northwestern can recover. We dealt with again there. Notice Maryland that substitutes in our Kenny Quist Thurston, Harry Bernstein, Brian St. Martin, Farouk Cisse. Heavy tackle right there. Just that did the trick. So, another heavy challenge. At that time, did not catch the ball. Free kick for Northwestern. In a dangerous position, too.
We'll take another look at what drew this free kick.
Yeah, Chris Thurston missed on that one. Gonna be a free kick all day. So, the delivery now. Dangerous one towards the back post. The Northwestern player down on the ground. And then blocks the kick, and this will be a card almost certainly. See, it's Mayer. It is Mayer. He'll have a word with the referee. No card. But for a moment there, Northwestern again with a dangerous opportunity, just not quite able to get the ball. They want to mock now, running straight at the referee. Probably wants a yellow card or something similar of the sort. To approach the final 10 minutes of this first half. So this is now a huge 10 minutes, even more than would naturally be. Maryland could get a third before halftime. It would A, be a sensational first half performance, and B, potentially a massive, massive issue for Northwestern. But on the flip side, Northwestern gets a goal before halftime, and they're very much knocking on the door.
I think the story is if they can score, Dash. I mean, I think 2-0 and 3-0 will feel similarly to this Wildcats team that's trying to pull off a road upset.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly going to be a situation where for them, they do want to get that first goal quickly. Trying to press a bit more. Rose goes long. It's worth noting that St. Martin, they're almost in attacking midfield for a second, and our position, normally a center back today, playing at the moment on this side, and not quite as a fullback, because with Clark behind him, really almost playing as a wing, a defensive minded one at that. So, pass back now. Bomar finds his keeper. Anki going long. First header won by Mayer. Now, Cisse still with the ball. Back to Clark. Of course, Cisse also a defender playing in central midfield. So, Sasha Swarovski definitely locking up the shop at the moment. Trying to park the bus a little bit with his personnel, although they haven't looked too passive, but that's a mistouch by Clark and thrown by Adamandi. Now, Reese. Johnson. Reese again. Johnson again. Van Deventer. Van Deventer's ball. It's a good one, and Adamandi's in some space here. Adamandi. Italo Adamandi's cross is a good one. Take it down the shot. It's trickled into the back of the net. 2-1 Northwestern's on the board, and it is Reese, the man off the bench, the threat in the box, who gets them on.
Dash, you said he was the perfect ninth man. Right there, he looks like he could be better than that. A goal, not like how you would draw it up. Midfield traffic. He goes in for the quick strike. Mock initially broke the wrong way, did not have time to recover. And Northwestern rebound a little bit, cut the deficit to only one.
That's the goal they needed so badly. That's a great finish by Reese there. Technically, it may not look all that impressive of a strike, but that is so hard to do, to control that, take it down, and then place it perfectly on the volley. Reese with a class finish. The chest down to him as well, also class. It creates that opportunity. A great goal for Northwestern in a game where Maryland has scored a couple of great goals. Wildcats said, hold on, let's do this too.
Right there, Northwestern not doing the offensive plan that they would have drawn up.
But here come the Terps again, motoring forward. This could be an opportunity here. The cutback, the shot. Oh, and it just curled wide. Nearly three. De Jesus had the goal in his sights. He'd made a great run, and it just didn't quite bend back far enough.
Maryland tried to quickly respond after that first Northwestern goal, unable to in that moment. But that's something that Swarovski was monitoring coming into today, that Maryland would not give away easy goals, and that they would also respond better than they did on Tuesday.
This game, it's just a gift that keeps on giving. So many good chances, so much excitement. see how this plays out in these last few minutes of this first half, because I have a feeling we're going to see some more fireworks. The header initially won by the Terps. Northwestern's able to win it back, and now a bit of a foot race ensuing here. Looks like it'll be nicely covered by St. Martin, but Adamandi wins it off him, and no fouls as the referee either way. Now it looks like he's going to play advantage. Gajadhar, the end eventer, plays it back. Volmar, Prince. Prince wanted something, presumably the ball. Also, he was maybe given tactical instructions of a kind. Such an experienced player. And really unfortunate for him that he concedes the penalty. He's been so good for Northwestern for so long. But certainly no choice for the referee but to avoid that spot kick after his foul on Masarika. So Volmar now striding forward, has some good space, and he'll pick out a diagonal. And Mayer spreading it wide. Here come Northwestern. Moving inside, the pass back. Now Suhetsky, a clever idea. Reese had his pocket picked. Gajadhar finds Suhetsky. The shot blocked. Johnson. Back to Gajadhar. Gajadhar growing in some influence here in these last couple minutes, it feels like. And Suhetsky's picked up a good position. Turning in the box. The cross. Headed away. Now the clear goes a little bit farther out, but still a Northwestern ball. And Prince able to recover. Goes back to his keeper. Monkey to Volmar. Johnson wanted that, and Volmar has found him. Johnson, the talented freshman, goes back to Volmar now. Volmar to Prince. Maryland doing a good job now, just forcing Northwestern back a little bit. It's a clever ball through, and Wildcats can try to come again. So Jallo trying to combine with Mayer there, but just didn't quite work out. Now a nice little flick on. Referee blows for a free kick, and Maryland this time, the ones with a set piece in a dangerous position.
Well, a free kick like this is exactly the opportunity you want after they were unable to score, as we'll take another look at what drew it.
Yeah, Jesus fouled there. And opportunity for Maryland to put a ball in a very dangerous position. So it'll be Bernstein or DeJesus to take. Bernstein, talented freshman. DeJesus, the veteran. 4th year with the program now. Outstanding summer with the Annapolis Blues. They call him the Naptown Messi for all he's done there. DeJesus' delivery. It's a good one. The flick on. So it's a wind up with Cisse. Says Quist Thurston. The delivery in is a really good one. And Honky had to be alert. Goes out of play, but really good delivery by Quist Thurston right there.
And that would have been Cisse's second goal. He got his first against Penn State. We'll take another look.
Yeah, Quist Thurston right there. Just a great, great cross in. Almost troubled Honky a bit more than he could handle, but keeper a top great one. And sees the throw. Long throw in. Header flicked on by Quist Thurston. Didn't quite go. So Mayer, the end eventer. Mayer going long. Not really anywhere in the vicinity, and he'll take that down. Back to his keeper. Mock. Rose. Rose. Back to Mock. Mock. Plays this one wide. Help going long. DeJesus in hot pursuit, but the flag's gone up. So chance for Northwestern to try and pump the ball forward again. That time, Honky, when he tried to send it forward, sent it out of play, but that's what we do. Volmar. Johnson. Johnson's touch took him backwards a little bit. And his ball towards Adamandi. Adamandi keeps it in, finds Johnson again. He deflected up. Clark wins the ball. He found Bernstein, and Bernstein tries to play it back towards St. Martin, but ball goes out of play. Worth noting that for Maryland, after they brought in the defensive subs, do end up conceding a goal. So you wonder whether Sasha Strauss got too cautious and way too much pressure, but at the same time, Cisse and St. Martin certainly not looking too out of place in their current roles. Bernstein now, with a loose touch, and Mayer can recover. Mayer going forward and creating an opportunity for the one-on-one for Jallo, but Jallo slips, and Costabile can come the other way. Stabile has some space, but finds De Jesus. De Jesus back to Stabile, the two close friends. Stabile moving in, finds De Jesus in the wing. He's found Cisse now. Chris Thurston, who slotted in at fullback for a second. And really, Maryland, at this point, essentially playing a back five. Cisse almost operating like a third defender there for a second. He drifts into midfield. Now the ball forward towards Van Hoekelum. Van Hoekelum's taking it down nicely, and Mayer comes away with it. But here's De Jesus, and he gets a body check, but no fouls to the referee. Or as he signaled for a foul here, it initially looked like it was for a throw, but turns out it actually will be a foul. Free kick.
This is the third time today that Mayer has been involved in what might have been a foul or now what is a foul. So definitely not what Northwestern were looking for in terms of improving their discipline coming into today.
Yeah. No major disciplinary incidents, though. In the last game, 2 red cards, unfortunate. This time, nothing too much to worry about. It is strange. They do not seem to be an indisciplined team. They've just had too many cards. The delivery from Stabile now is a good one. The back post headed down, and it's going to be going the other way. Oh, but that was nearly a golden opportunity for Maryland to get a third. So Northwestern living dangerously, but now the Wildcats can try to pump this along potentially before the half ends. Van Deventer. Spreads it wide. Johnson. Going forward has found Adamandi. Adamandi's pass. Give an opportunity for Bernstein to get in. And now Northwestern has a free kick and enough time to maybe make something of it. Taking quickly. Zuhetski. Threatening, and ultimately Reese putting pressure on. Reese couldn't quite get there, though, so the goal scorer will have to stick with his one. Mock will put the ball on the ground, and the last 2 seconds of the half tick away. This has had all the excitement we thought it might have, and perhaps even more. And Gajadhar re-enters. So, Adam, if you're these two coaching staffs, what have you made of this one so far?
Well, I think Sasha Surowski has been in full control, and he wants more. I think it's very interesting that he is not just happy with a lead, he wants it to be a commanding lead. That's how Maryland entered the second half.
Western there is building dangerously, but the pass just overhit. Tanner couldn't bring it under his spell. It does feel like Northwestern has grown into the second half nicely. But certainly that start from Maryland for those first 5 minutes was just absolutely scintillating.
I mean, for Northwestern, they're still relying heavily on the throw-in, and they just have not been able to capitalize without the benefit of a penalty kick.
Yeah. See what they can do moving forward here to diversify that attack. And Volmar going back to Honky. Honky instead plays it short to Prince. Prince such a key player for Northwestern over the last few years, and now Volmar going long. Help will win the first ball. Second ball, last week I tried to get on it, but instead ends up back with Prince. So Prince, Mayer, and now Tarleton, who's been more active in the second half. He's finding Martinez Santamaria. Finds Zuhetski. Cuts back. Zuhetski, they tie up with Cisse, the cross coming in. Taken down nicely for a second, but in the end dealt with well. Maryland could scramble it away. It was good defending yet again from the Terps. Help. Been outstanding in the second half. Now a great ball from Mayer in towards Gajadhar, and an evasive action had to be taken. Help with another critical intervention to get there ahead of Gajadhar. So, Vlasic Help might be the man of the match for the second half so far. Cool. Stabile. Picato flicks it around the corner. Advantage, says the referee. Van Hoekelum spreads this wide. Cisse making up ground. Northwestern getting back with good numbers, though. Cisse still moving forward. The cross deflected and out of play for a corner. Maryland gets a set piece of their own now.
Just their second corner of the game, Dash, and they were successful on the first one, so can they deliver again here as we see what Drew it. Cisse locked up. Almost got a good shot off.
Deflected off of Johnson. Out of play, and Maryland could try to cause Northwestern some problems here. Both coaches told us that set pieces would be key to this game. Northwestern's been the more effective team off of them so far, but the Terps have also been able to hold them at arm's length and dealt with a lot of pressure very well. So, Stabile to take a series of brilliant crosses to start the second half. What can you do here? Also had a brilliant ball for the assist on the second goal. The delivery is a good one, headed on, and just wide. Nearly a third for Maryland. The connection was there, but the header just drifting wide.
So we'll take another look at it. And this first header has been plaguing both teams with penalty corners this game. Just not able to deliver and set up a nice strike or a nice pass.
Certainly a dangerous moment right there. Picado got the header on it, but just couldn't guide it towards net. As now Northwestern trying to play through the lines. Maryland able to recover. For the time being, the Terps just trying to set things down. So, it's been a good soccer match so far. These two. Certainly, corner kicks are always going to be a key to every match you see. Maryland is threatening there, couldn't quite convert. As now the Terps come again on the attack. And Hokum. He was maybe gesturing taking it on to the head. There's nothing. Prince now going long. Of course, we talked about how key Prince is. First team All Big Ten in 2023. Second team All Big Ten last year. All Big Ten tournament team in 2023 as well. Certainly a key player at the back for Northwestern. Unfortunately, conceded the penalty tonight, but otherwise has been very solid for his team. Kelp under pressure, going long, and it's a great ball. Masarika got the first touch on it, but his touch kind of let him down. Referee says no foul, though, and Masarika will have an effort. Ultimately, just drifted wide. And now Matias De Jesus, who's been dangerous in this game, entering the game. Plays Picado.
Take another look at it. Masareka has been defended so well today. That has been a clear priority for Northwestern. Putting Volmar, arguably their best defender, on him, almost stifled him this entire game.
Yeah, it was really dangerous early on, but has kind of drifted out in the last few minutes, it's felt like. Had a few sloppy touches as well, and now Tarleton with a sloppy touch, and Kuhl putting him under a world of pressure. Prince clears the danger. Stabile wins the header against Hainer, but Tarleton has covered the ground and now try to get Northwestern going again. Martinez Santamaria, who Maryland has done a great job against, particularly Clark, now on the ball. Martinez Santamaria striding forward here. Suhetsky's touch on. Pressure coming, and Mock has to be alert. He will be. The header won by Mayer. Hainer, flick on. And now another good flick, and Northwestern might have an opportunity here. Suhetsky, the shot. It's a good one, and it looked like Mock had that covered, but he may have needed to get his hands to it. And indeed he did, because it's going to be a corner for the Wildcats.
We take another look. This is the best chance Northwestern have had directly against Mock. He just extends his fingers out to deflect it. But they've been putting more pressure on in Maryland's side of the field.
Yeah, the momentum has started to tilt back towards the Wildcats. And looks like the referee's going to have a word with the Northwestern bench about something. See what it is. We didn't like a couple complaints he's gotten from them. So, yeah, it's certainly been an extended conversation here between referee and Coach Payne and his staff. In the meantime, Suhetsky, the former Maryland man, will take this corner. Played a key role on Maryland for a few years, then transferred to the Wildcats. His delivery, bit long, the header down, and just tripping wide. But it's taking a deflection, and Northwestern corner now from the other side. We talked about it, Adam. Northwestern need to convert on one of these if they're going to get at least a point out of this game.
This will be their 8th corner kick, Dash, and when you have that many chances given to you, almost, which is something that Maryland were trying to avoid this game, you have to capitalize, especially if you're struggling to execute in the box.
This one's a good one to the back post. Mayer's header down. Mock scooped it nicely, and Now he'll try to go long quickly towards Masarika. Masarika on the run. What can he do here with his first touch? It's going to be critical. It works for him, but doesn't quite get him into space. The dummies a cover one for Van Hoeklem. And now, De Jesus. Ooh, that looked painful. He fell on his hand awkwardly. Masarika, the shot blocked. Northwestern trying to come the other way, but in the end, Cool had the ball for a second. Now, De Jesus picks it up. Spread wide. Cisse, a good ball in towards Van Hoeklem, and that had to be dealt with, and it was by Prince.
We'll take another look at this shot. Cisse, it just goes wide, deflected off the head by Prince, but in that sequence, the most important play was Masarika was too quick on the second shot dash, or his second touch actually, that he sold out for a shot in traffic that was not set up for Maryland to execute with.
Yeah, certainly a bit of an awkward play as the corner comes in. That'll be dealt with by Northwestern. Now, Masarika from distance, blocked again, and it's been a bit of a theme for him now. Blocked shots in the last couple of tries. So, Costabile, De Jesus, Andronika. Costabile is showing for it, but Andronika's gone back, said to Cope. Cope across to Rose, back to Cope. Now Costabile. Found Andronika in a nice little flicker on the corner. De Jesus with a good turn. Turning back the other way now, and he's found Andronika again. Couldn't get his touch sword out underneath his feet, and Andronika motoring in. That's a great cross. If someone can attack it, the header down. Still loose. The bicycle kick. Masarika, my goodness, you can't block that. Not able to corral the rebound, and couldn't be expected to with the way that shot came in. And Masarika, what a job there to clean that up. And Adam, if you're Maryland now, you've gotten that third goal in spectacular fashion. What does that do to change the game?
I mean, I think it's less about the third goal and how exciting that was. Masarika loses his jersey. It's such a thrilling moment in front of this really well-attended home crowd. And it's just, can Maryland hold on? They have to, go through 25 more minutes. And Northwestern, this is their moment to respond. If they don't have a successful drive within the next few minutes, this game might slip away from them.
Certainly Northwestern back under pressure. Of course, we talked about discipline in this game. Masarika taking his charge to celebrate. We'll get a yellow card for that, but he won't mind one bit because that is a superb goal by him. Mayer now trying to ask a question for Northwestern. Gajadhar recovers. Gajadhar. Well defended here by De Jesus, but he's turned away from him. And Gajadhar with a nice little step. De Jesus pokes the ball away temporarily, and here's Martinez Santamaria with the shot, saved by Mock. Really cannot give enough credit for this Maryland defense. Martinez Santamaria has been solid tonight, but certainly far from his magical best. That's a huge testament to this Terps defense.
And he came into tonight hot. He had a goal and an assist against Rutgers that ultimately allowed Northwestern to win.
Jace Clark's done a great job on him. Now Maryland going long, and here's Masarika, who's just scored his wonder goal. The pass, switches it wide. Here's De Jesus. Cisse. Well defended by Johnson, but Cisse ends up on the ball anyways. De Jesus again. Then an active participant is coming on. Steinleitner, dispossessed. Cisse recovers. Cisse. Good strength, and now Maryland can try to work the ball back again. Costabile. Blocked up off him, and now a little bit of pushing and shoving off the ball, and just like that, here comes Gajadhar. Facing Carlton. So Gajadhar and Van Deventer in at the same time. We'll see how this partnership works. Of course, Gajadhar, we talked about, recovering from ACL. He's back this year. Guy who works really hard. A guy who had professional interest. Teams were concerned about his size, but not his technical capability. He'll be going pro after this year, depending on how things play out. And now Northwestern trying to attack again. Ball forward. Fortunately, the Wildcats able to mop up a little bit. More bodies fly. You can see some intense challenges here. 3-minute physical game. Prince. Now Mayer. Jallo. Mayer. And the referees call it a free kick right there. Northwestern with a chance to put in another dangerous ball in a very, very promising position. And Adam, you've talked about it. They need to be able to win these headers. This is another huge opportunity to see what they can do off such a free hit.
Just the initial header and then controlling the pace. Don't let Maryland, take over when this is your penalty.
So, Spedsky here. Delivery. Instead goes short. Martinez Santa Maria, well defended here by Masarica. Now Van Deventer striding forward and into the box. Has taken a deflection, and Kuhl will try to close it down. Concedes the throw. So in the end, no opportunity for a header there, but there'll almost certainly be one here as, guess what? Johnson comes over to take the long throw. Inside the final 20 minutes here. Not quite crunch time for Northwestern to get a goal yet, but if they want to emerge with their best chance of getting at least a point, they need to get one soon. Johnson's delivery. Flicked on in the box. Again, Maryland wins the header. As you said, Northwestern just not able to make those count tonight. And here comes Masarica. Well, dispossessed right there. Cole gets the ball back, though, and now bit of space. DeJesus just couldn't quite connect with his teammate. And it'll be a throw for Northwestern.
At this point, Dash, I have to wonder, is Johnson getting more of a workout with his arms or his legs at this point with how many throws he's had?
Yeah, good question for sure. I mean, first half, I felt like he was a very active outlet for Northwestern. Also had a big role defensively. But second half, hasn't had quite as much to do, it feels like, at least in possession. Now, Endronika. Masarica. Cissé has done a great job playing big minutes in this game. I thought that Clark did well as well, but Cissé, too, playing a big role. Now dispossessed, though. Curse of the announcer. Masarica wins it back. And now, here's Martinez Santa Maria. He's pinched the ball in a big position here. Has options. Looking for Suhetsky. A heavy challenge, but won the ball, and the referee says play on. Goal kick. And very fired up moment there for Rose. I think they're angry at his team, and Suhetsky now angry as well because he thinks that he was tackled unfairly.
A lot of animated reactions tonight, Dash, regarding the officiating. These players, I think it's just such an intense rivalry that they're really getting into it.
Yeah, referee stopped the clock there. Now, restarted, so certainly need to pay attention here to both teams. And again, letting plays like that go does also let the game get more animated because when there's no foul in those heavy challenges, guys will start leaning into them a bit more. And now, he flicked on Masarica. DeJesus stretching, couldn't get on the end of it. The out ball, and went as far as Cissé. Rose. Masarica. Cissé, back to Masarica, and back to Rose. Now Maryland's starting to manage this game a little bit more here as we're inside the final 15 minutes. And Adam, what have you made of Maryland's response to going up 2 goals? I mean, we talked a lot about how Northwestern needs to get back into this one, but for the Terps, they've done a pretty good job managing this game.
I think Maryland has been, they've stayed calm. They're not trying to sell out, add on unnecessarily. But there have been some moments where I think Sasha Sorowski will be talking to them afterward about discipline, is they're just trying to improve, have the best process possible. Even though they're winning this game, and they've been winning all season, you just want to set yourself up for success as the schedule only will get harder.
Yeah, now the referee having a word with Costabile about taking the throw in too far up the pitch. Clock restarting again. Referee doing a good job keeping an eye on the stoppages. They're not trying to let either team waste time. So Honky claims. Turned over right there. The pass was just not quite what Bulmar needed. Kuhl has found Endronika with space to run the shot, tipped onto the bar. What a save from Honky right there. That was nearly an absolute wonder strike from Endronika.
We'll take another look. Endronika, another great opportunity. Honky leaps up to deflect it off the top bar. Don't forget, this is his first game with Northwestern. He hasn't played a game since last season with Georgia State, so even though he's been in practice, he's really stepped up today.
Yeah, I mean, what a stop right there. That was headed in, and that was a brilliant, brilliant strike from Endronika, who already has one great goal tonight. As it is, corner from Maryland. Chance for the Terps to try and Add a dagger. The delivery from Kostabia is a good one. Hongi punches, but that's loose. In front, Hongi has to punch again, and he's punched into his own net. Oh, what a tragedy. Heartbreak for Northwestern, but for Maryland, they've put the pressure on, and it's 4-1. That is a statement from the Terps.
All game we've seen Northwestern try as we take another look at this. Keep the pressure off Hongi. Here, it bounces up and off. It even bounces off his own hands. He was trying to get it over the bar dash. He just feed it almost like he's playing volleyball.
Yeah, and you really have to feel for him here. He's just made an incredible stop for his team, and there just mishits it. And man, whichever fan base you're a part of, you have to feel for him right there. A top-class goalie, but he's going to want that play back badly. And for Maryland, that might just be what seals the deal. But for the Terps now, talk about this. 4-1 over a good Northwestern team. We've seen this with our own eyes. Maryland is probably not 3 goals better than Northwestern on paper, which makes it all the more impressive they've beaten them by 3, and it doesn't feel like a really, really unfair result.
This is their first time scoring, at least 4 since the beginning of the month against St. Francis and Pacific. Both those were home games. This team has enjoyed a lot of success at home. Ludwig has been their friend.
Yeah, and Sasha Sarosky's been talking to us extensively about how good this team is. He's called it the deepest team he's had since the title. He said more fans will show up to watch this team because of how good they are. And man, this is an infomercial for him right now because at this moment, every fan who's in the stadium is watching a statement win. And this Maryland team, we have to say, looks like a serious, serious threat in the Big Ten and perhaps even the nation if they can keep playing like this. But here comes Northwestern. Jallow towards O'Reilly, and that's gone out of play.
And you talked about depth dash, and we're seeing, the two sides of the coin here. Maryland have so much of it that they're able to capitalize. They're able to change their looks offensively and defensively. Northwestern are playing, men short. They have not been able to vary things, so Maryland has been able to adjust to them. That's why they've been silent in the second half, because Maryland was scouting them in the first half. They know exactly what personnel are going to come on this field, and they've shut them down.
Yeah, and Northwestern making a triple change right there. Looking for something, looking for some sort of spark. And he's telling Martinez Santa Maria, one of the players, to come off. Maryland's done an incredible job against him. O'Reilly, cross young player. Maryland's done a good job against him. And here's Masarica putting on pressure. The header away. The Terps were threatening there for a second, and now they might come again. Kuhl will calm the play down instead. But now he receives the ball back. Cisse. Rose just playing back to his keeper. Maryland don't need to take any unnecessary risks at the moment. Ball long. Prince with the header. And now Kelp again just cleaning up the play, but a free kick called behind it. Chance for Northwestern. If they're going to get anything out of this game, they're going to need to get a goal very, very fast, which at this point would take something not far short of a miracle. Wildcats getting back underway. Johnson nearly dispossessed, and that would be a Northwestern throw. Maryland preparing to make a couple more changes of their own. Mateo Caride and Jace Clark entering the game. And here they go. So Van Hoeken will make way. So too will Costabile. Costabile, of course, with the corner delivery that led to the own goal. Also had a brilliant ball, which set up Andronika's second. A very good night for him with those deliveries. Rob Van Hoeken also threatened to nearly score one off the woodwork. That's the thing we have to remember as well. Maryland has hit the post twice, in addition to the 4 goals. Just remarkable. So here come the Terps, and that's a heavy challenge, and the referee will blow for the foul there. But yeah, when you think about that, Adam, 4 goals, 2 times hitting the woodwork. If you're a Maryland opponent, what are you making this offensive outpouring from the Terps?
If I'm a Maryland opponent, looking at this game as film, I'm thinking, how do I respond to this attack? How do I shut down Rita or GK on the wing? Because so far, Northwestern's had no answer, so Maryland's just been able to keep up the same play, create chances, and you're right, Dash, they've been a little unlucky with a few off the bar, But you can take that luck when you're creating so many chances that you're still up 4-1.
Yeah, and this is a nice little move right there. But again, a huge tackle from Clark to dispossess Everett Fisher, who made a nice run. Ball goes out play for Maryland throw. And you mentioned NGK. Maryland doesn't even have NGK tonight. And that has been their best attacking player so far this season. They've done this without arguably their biggest attacking threat so far. I mean, this is when you really think about it and look in the weeds, just an incredible, incredible offensive performance from the Terps.
And it speaks to the fantastic roster building that Sasha Sorowski has done this year to have that much depth that you don't even notice that the best offensive player is gone.
Yeah, don't even notice it. Rita's not even played in the second half much at all. So another key player they've not needed too badly tonight. It's just incredible. I mean, he's talked about the depth, how this team has had the best depth since he last won a national title. Yeah, this is the night where the proof is in the pudding that this depth is truly special. Maryland coming again here. Andronika, Masarika, DeJesus, Kuh, Clark, nice little turn right there. Kuh, ooh, a nice little turn from him too, and Maryland bringing the skill here, and Andronika. Masarika was in space for a second, but the flag goes up for offsides, but that was some sumptuous football right there from the Terps.
And once again, Maryland still are controlling midfield. Northwestern had no answer. That's created so many offensive opportunities for them.
Yeah, it does feel that since the third goal, this has been Maryland's game, and they've started to really take it over. And credit to Northwestern. The scoreline probably doesn't reflect how many nice moments they've had, but man, for Maryland, this is looking more and more impressive as the minutes tick by. And there's another interception. Kelp stepping forward. Cole's even had a quiet night by his metrics. Except for the penalty, doesn't feel like it's been his best performance, and it hasn't had to be. The team has done so well tonight. Mock going long now. Header won by the Wildcats. Pass out of the back from Fisher. Jallo keeps it in. Jallo, well marked, nowhere to go. Andronika forces Fisher back to Hongi, and poor Hongi. I mean, that own goal, I think, will really cast a pall of the night in his eyes, but at the same time, made a huge stop right before that and was overall solid, I think, on the evening.
I think, Dash, that goal will only sting if, let's say, Northwestern, come back to make it a 4-3 game. Then that one will be, pretty troubling. But, with how much Maryland has put pressure on him, that happens eventually to even the best goalies.
Yeah, certainly you hope we'll be able to think about it philosophically. There's a lot of positives to take from tonight for him. A tough assignment on the road against a red-hot Maryland offense.
It's his first time starting in, I think, 9 months, Dash.
Yeah. Certainly a lot of positives to take away for him. Now, Rose. Back to Mock. Headsky departs the former Maryland man. Mock taking his time. We're inside the final 7 minutes. And Adam, we've talked about what this means for Maryland. For Northwestern, what's your takeaway here? If you're the Wildcats, what are you thinking moving on to this game?
Well, I think that it's obviously disappointing to lose this game on the road in conference. But I think one thing to look at is they are due for some positive regression because they have been unsustainably unlucky on corner kicks. And eventually that will break through. If they can keep creating those chances in future Big Ten play, they'll be able to cash in soon.
Yeah, and there goes Reese, who had a really nice finish for Northwestern's goal tonight. Now Fisher. This is better from the Wildcats here. Certainly not giving up at all. Reese, dispossessed. Ball headed out of play. That'll be saved, and we'll see who the throw-in goes for. It'll go for the Terps. Of course, we talked about Reese. Certainly, one guy's come back from injury. Mayer, another guy's dealt with injuries. I mean, a lot of guys in this team who've come back from injuries at some point in the last year or so. And we talked about a lot of guys missing due to suspension or injury or what have you. Their depth will improve in future games. In the meantime, Maryland making a bunch of subs. Masarika, Andronika, and DeJesus all exiting. Rita re-enters. So too does Chris Thurston. And St. Martin playing again out wide. So, Mock. And for Karyudebe. Overhit him. Now, Jallo, the tie-up. Clark wins that. Cool. Off Fisher and out of play. Talking about Reese a minute ago. So having him back helps. Of course, just talk about some other subs in this game who die with Northwestern too. They do have their own depth. It's been stretched a bit thin. Fisher. Now, Prince. That's another thing to talk about. We talk about the strength of defense for Northwestern. Prince, multiple-time All-Big Ten player. Mayer, solid player and local boy. Talk about Volmar, guy who's been outstanding at center back for Northwestern in many big moments tonight. I mean, talk about Johnson, Thomas Young defender. This is a good defense, and Maryland has really been able to create chances against them. Now the out ball, won by Rose. Of course, also testament to his Maryland defense. We've talked about it. They've been able to shut down Northwestern's top players. Pelt made some critical interventions. Rose has been rock solid. Here's Rita, the talented young man. The shot, and it had a decent idea, but just bent the wrong way for him.
For Maryland, you can take those kinds of shots. And for Rita, this is an exciting moment because he had not been starting the past few games, and now he's gotten another chance to prove himself to Sasha Swarovski that he can be part of the starting nine going forward in Big Ten play.
Yeah, I mean, for that starting 11, you look at it, Rita, I mean, most schools, he would be in that 11. He'd be a nailed-on member. Maryland, he's just another super sub in the canopy. Plethora. It's taken long, and again, good idea, but she's not going to protect. Both teams have had issues with long balls tonight. Now, Northwestern moving forward again. Game getting a little bit stretched as it ticks towards its end. Inside the final 4 minutes, and Maryland recovers. Chris Thurston going into the challenge. Gajadhar. Pass back. Go find Prince. Fisher. Prince also be probably disappointed with his involvement in the own goal. Clattered into his keeper and probably didn't help matters much there. But again, just another top-class player. Despite that penalty, certainly a guy had some big moments. Had the critical intervention on the delivery towards Van Hoekelum. To be key to this Northwestern team as they continue to try and progress forward. As Rita spreads this nicely towards Cisse. Steinleitner. And the delivery from the flank is a good one by St. Martin. Headed down, but not quite the contact that Pride was looking for. Ongi plays Mayer. Prince. Now to Nagano, who's entered the game. Thomas Young player from Northwestern. Northwestern has some good youth. We've seen O'Reilly extensively tonight. Johnson as well. Fisher, another freshman on the ball right there. Throwing for Northwestern. Actually, he's drawing a free kick. Takes it short. Prince. Mayer. Northwestern now, Gajadhar. So another guy will be key to them moving forward. Get some more minutes tonight. Have to manage his minutes. Still returning from the injury. Now, step forward. Jallo. Nagano. Lays it off. Northwestern trying to make a good attack here. Van Deventer. Gajadhar, and that's going to be saved nicely by Mock. Behind it all the way, but that was hit with some venom. And Adam, if you're these two coaching staffs, what would you be the biggest takeaway you have from this game?
I mean, I think both of these coaches have agreed on a few important things, namely how important Saddam Masareka is, that Northwestern put their best defender on him. Maryland kept feeding him the ball despite that. And eventually he broke through in that bicycle kick that was the big takeaway that I think everyone in the crowd will remember from this game.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fabulous moment of individual skill. Just to be composed like that, to dare to do that with Hongi bearing down. Gets it wrong, it's a foul, and potentially even a card. He gets it right, and that ended up being the key goal for Maryland. That really set them on their way. Here's Jallo. His cross is a good one. This time Northwestern will win the header down. The flick back. The shot well blocked. And credit to both these teams. Both of them, the game has gotten a little bit sloppy, but you can see the effort still very much there late. The delivery back in. Gajadhar. Fisher. Gajadhar on the overlap. Gajadhar. The cutback cross in front is a dangerous one. Still not dealt with and just blazed over at the end of the play. That was a good look from Northwestern, one of their better attacking spells of the night. We enter the final 10 seconds. Mock won't be in any hurry to put this one back in play. The clock counts down 2, 1, and it finishes.